Hello friends, this video is about time value of money concept, which is extremely vital for financial decision making. Let's understand what is the concept. Money has time value. A dollar today is more valuable than a dollar 1 year hence. And by this analogy, the value of the same amount of money received or paid at different periods is different. Why this happens? Because the money earns interest and such interest gets compounded, and that's how money keeps accumulating in future. Let's understand this for an example. If you have $1 with 10% interest rate per annum, it will become 1.10 after 1 year, 1.21 after 2 years, 1.331 after 3 years, and so on. So we may say it differently, that present value of $1.1 received after 1 year is equal to $1 today, or the present value of $1.21 received after 2 years is equal to $1 today, and the present value of $1.331 received after 3 years is equal to $1 today, and so on, at 10% interest rate per annum. This is basically called interest rate compounding technique to calculate the future value of a current amount. And when you want to convert a future amount to present value, we need to just do the reciprocal of compounding, which is called interest rate discounting technique. So let's understand this with a very simple example. If you invest today $1,000 in a fixed deposit bank account at 10% interest rate, which is compounded annually for 5 years, the maturity amount after 5 years will become $1,610.51, as we can see in this table. Here you have deposited $1,000 at the beginning of the year. So by the end of the year, with 10% interest rate, it will become $1,100, because $100 is the interest. Second year beginning, opening amount is $1,100 with 10% further interest added on it. The amount becomes $1,210. So like this, by the end of 5th year, the amount becomes $1,610.51. Now let's see how do we calculate future value mathematically. So there is a mathematical formula to calculate future value, which is a basic formula which says FV, that is future value, equals to principal amount times 1 plus R raised to power n. So here P is the principal amount at the beginning of the period, R is the rate of interest, and n is the number of years for which you have to do the compounding. So we can see this with the same example here. $1,000 we deposited in first year, $1,100 we deposit in second year. It becomes second year 1100, sorry. So interest rate is 10% per annum. So the future value multiple factor using the formula 1 plus R raised to power n is 1.10 in year 1. For year 2 it becomes 1.21. At the end of year 3 it becomes 1.331. And at the end of year 4 it becomes 1.4641. And at the end of year 5 it becomes 1.6105. We can also see this future value multiplication factor by a ready reckoner, because if the number of years are, let's say, so many long years, then it will be very difficult to calculate like this. So we can have a ready reckoner, which I have provided in this table. Here you see there are different interest rate on the right hand side columns, starting from 3% to 15%, and in the row side I have put year, number of years from 1 to 100. You can see here number of years ranging from 1 to 100, and we can see the formula here. If you have to calculate at 10%, so the first year compounding factor is 1.10, second year is 1.21, third year is 1.331. So like that, if you put that value in that table, we can calculate the future value multiplication factor using the formula 1 plus R raised to power n, and then you simply multiply this multiplication factor with the principal amount to reach to the ending value of the amount. So that's how $1,000 get accumulated to $1,610.51 in 5 years. Now let's understand what happens if the compounding frequency is semi-annually or quarterly or monthly, not annually. In that case, the concept remains same, except the formula of compounding, the R, which was rate of interest, gets divided by the frequency, and the raised to power n becomes f times n. So where f is basically the frequency of compounding within a year. So for example, if there is a semi-annual compounding, f becomes 2. If there is a quarterly compounding of interest, then f becomes 4. And if it is monthly compounding, the f is 12. And in case of daily compounding, f becomes 365. So using this formula, and same example as we saw before, if suppose there is a 6 months compounding, so interest rate becomes 5% instead of 10% semi-annually, and it is compounded every 6 months. So first 6 months end, the amount will become 1050. 7th month beginning, 1050 will get further interest at the rate of 5% for next 6 months, so $52.50. So by the end of 12 months, it will become 1102.5. So like that, by end of 24 months, it will become 1215.51, which is higher than what it would have been had it been a annual compounding. Now let's see the impact of quarterly compounding. The methodology is same. Here the rate of interest becomes 2.5% per quarter because it is 10% per annum. So divide by 4, so 2.5% per quarter. And compounding happens every quarter. So by end of 3 months, the amount become 1025. By end of 6 months, the amount become 1050.63. So like that, by end of 24 months, we get 1218.40, which is higher than the earlier amount what we calculated on semi-annual basis, 1215, and also it is higher than the annual compounding impact. Now let's understand, if there is a series of payments, not one single amount, which we receive or make at the end of each year, then the concepts remain same, except that we have to just multiply the respective year cash flow with the respective year's future value multiplication factor using the formula 1 plus r raised to power, or we can also use the ready reckoner, which I shown you earlier. So for example, if you are depositing $1,000 in first year, 1,500 in second year, 2,000 in third year, 2,500 in fourth year, and 3,000 in fifth year. So like that, if you are depositing money and the future value factor is 1.4641, because this first year money will get compounded 4 times. So the future value multiplication factor become 1.4641. The second year money what we deposited at the end of the second year will get accumulated for 3 compounding time. So their multiplication factor will be 1.331. So like that, we have got the multiplication factor of all the years cash flow, and just multiply by this multiplication factor with the original principal amount to get the total amount at the end of 5th year. So by this method, we get the future value of all the 5 years deposit amount, and the sum of that becomes 11,630.60 cumulative value. Now let's understand the concept of annuity. Annuity is when there is an equal amount of cash flow stream which is either received or paid on a regular periodic interval. That is called annuity. So for example, interest on bonds, where bond interest is paid every 6 months, at the end of every 6 months, and rent payment which we have to make payment every month or every quarter. So these are called annuities, where the frequency is fixed and annual amount is fixed. Annual or quarterly, whatever that frequency is there, that amount is fixed, which is to be paid over a period of time. So there are 2 types of annuity. One is ordinary annuity, where payments are required at the end of each year, at end of each period, sorry. For example, bonds usually makes interest payment at the end of every 6 months. So that is called annuity, ordinary annuity. The other type of annuity is annuity due, where payments are either required or received at the beginning of each period. For example, whenever we pay rent amount, it is normally paid at the beginning of the month or beginning of the quarter. So that is called annuity due. So in case of annuity amount, because the amount of future cash flow is fixed over the period of time, so to calculate the future value of ordinary annuity, what we can do, we can just add the sum of all the future value multiplication factor and multiply that sum with the principal amount of annuity every year, whatever we are required to pay. So the result will be the same. Or alternatively, we can use a concept of future value multiplication factor for annuity for the defined rate of interest and for the time period, which I will show you in a moment. So here future value multiplication factor we can get directly from the ready reckoner, or we can also calculate by using the formula 1 plus r raised to power n, as I explained earlier. So let's see with this same one example that we have a cash flow stream where we are depositing money $1,000 every year at the end of the year. So 1,000 we deposited in first year, 1,000 in second year. So like that we deposited $1,000 in each year, so $5,000 cumulatively, and interest rate factor is 10%. So this first 1,000 gets accumulated or compounded 4 times because this is deposited at the end of the year. So the future value multiplication factor is 1.4641 as we saw earlier. And if we take the sum of all the 5 future value multiplication factor, this becomes 6.1051. This 6.1051 is also called the future value multiplication factor for annuity. So this we have a ready reckoner table I have given in this here. If I click it here, so this is again future value annuity table. So starting from 3% up to 15%, and on left hand side in the row is from 1 to 100. We can see here 1 to 100 years. So if we have to say, let's say 10%, and for 5 years, so this is row 5 years and this is 10%. So 6.1051 is the future value multiplication factor for annuity. So simply if you multiply this factor with the original principal amount of annuity, you get the total future value of the annuity 6105.10. So there are 2 ways of doing it. One is do the individual future value multiplication factor, take the sum of that and multiply with the annuity amount, or directly from FVMFA table we can get it. So let's understand this annuity concept with an example pictorially. So let's say here in this example I am taking $1,000 as the annuity amount, but interest rate at 5% per annum instead of 10% per annum. So here this $1,000 is deposited at the end of each year. So when we do the compounding using the annuity concept, so the first $1,000 which we deposit at the end of 1 year is getting accumulated 4 times compounding, so 1.05 raised to power 4. The second $1,000 will get accumulated over 3 years compounding, so 1.05 raised to power 3. That's like that we get the annual future annual value for each of the cash flow, and if we take the sum of that, it becomes 5525.64. Now alternatively, if we have to do this calculation for a longer period of time, it will take very long time and it will be a very tedious exercise. So there is a mathematical formula by which we can calculate this future value of annuity. The formula is future value of ordinary annuity is principal amount, that is the annuity amount, times 1 plus r raised to the power n minus 1, and this whole thing is divided by r. So where P is your cash flow per period or the annuity amount, R is the interest rate at which it has to be compounded, and N is the number of payments in the annuity. So using this formula, if we calculate the value of 1 plus 0.05 raised to power 5 minus N divided by 0.05, the value comes to 5.52563. See, if we multiply this times 1000, we get same amount 5525.63 which we got here. So now we can also calculate this by using the future value multiplication factor annuity tables, which I shown you in the last calculations. So here if we look at it, we simply multiply the principal amount times FVMFA. So for example, here it is the interest rate is 5%. So if I go to the future value multiplication factor table, let me go there. So this is 5%, and this is 5 years multiplication. So we have a 5.5256. So we can straight away put that value here, 5.52563 multiplied by $1,000 principal annuity amount. So we get the same result, 5525.63. So there are two ways of doing it. One is this mathematical formula. Second way is to directly go to the ready reckoner table and calculate the future value multiplication factor for annuity and multiply by the annuity amount. And third is this long method using 1 plus r raised to power n and then taking sum of all the future values. So in all the three methods we will get the final same result. Now let's understand what is annuity due and how do we calculate future value of annuity due. So annuity due is, as I told earlier, when you make or receive the payment at the beginning of the period instead of at the end of the period. So taking the same example, $1,000 annuity for 5 years, and where we are getting the deposit at the beginning of the year instead of, so the pictorial presentation slightly changed. Here we are depositing at period 0, first 1,000, then at the beginning of second year, that is end of first year, $1,000. So like that we deposit 5 times $1,000 each. And if we do the compounding, the first thousand gets compounded 5 times. So 1,000 times 1.05 raised to power 5. So that becomes 1,276. The second 1,000 get compounded 4 times. So 1,000 times 1.05 raised to power 4. So that becomes 1215.51. So like that we calculate all the 5 future values and take a sum of that, comes to 5801.92. Now using the mathematical formula, the future value of annuity due is exactly, this formula was same like ordinary annuity. We just need to multiply by 1 plus r, because here there is one more time compounding happening here, because we are paying at the beginning of the period. So each cash flow is getting compounded by 1 time more. So if you simply multiply this whole formula which we had for ordinary annuity by another factor of 1 plus r, we get the annuity due future value. So using this same example amount earlier, we got up to here 1,000 times 5.52563 earlier, and we are simply multiplying by another 1 plus r factor, that is 1.05. So we get 5801.91, same amount here what we get here. So we can simply say that future value of annuity due is P times future value multiplication factor for the annuity and times 1 plus r. So we will get the same result here. So this is all about the future value concept. In my next video, I will present the present value calculations of future cash flow stream. Thank you. Bye.